Okay guys, I created a new chart and I believe this chart confirms 100% that Bitcoin is going to bottom around $9,670 around mid to late August. I'm going to recreate this chart from scratch and show you all the confluence and why I believe this is the case. I'm also going to show you where I'm going to be putting in my short, and that's coming up very soon. So let's go ahead and jump into this, guys. Remember, you can access all these live charts on my website pinned in the first comment description. If you use my BitGet affiliate link, that's also pinned in the first comment description as well. If you've been following me, you know about this M1 chart, guys. Every time we hit one of these lines in this fib channel, price is being rejected. Rejected. This is why I told you guys to short when we made contact with this white line. We shorted this and made a killing. This is the published version of this chart. It was published on March 23rd. If I hit play, you can see what happened. We hit this white line and we got rejected repeatedly and came down. This is on candles, a little more up close and personal. I was telling you to short when you make contact with this white line. This published on March 26th. I hit play, you can see what happened. We hit it, got rejected, hit it, got rejected. I told you to short again at 43,000. I told you to short at 40,000. And when we're coming up, this is the first point I'm short is this red line. And then if we get above that, I'm going to short this white line. We're going to cover that as well. This is a video where I was talking about this chart and putting in my short. I'll put a link up this video now if you want to check it out. This is a chart I created a while back. This was published on November 14, 2021. This did help me find the top for the drop and the target that I believe we're coming down to test, which is below 10,000. The only thing about this chart is it does not give us the timing for that target. That is what that new chart is for. If I hit play on this chart, you can see how this played out. Ever since we crossed this ring, we've been coming down. Again, I think I found the chart that nails the timing for the absolute bottom. This is a video I was talking about this chart. If you want to watch it, I'll put a link up to it now. This here is the O1 chart, guys. I created a bunch of new charts. That's when I created the P1 chart that I think is going to nail the bottom. Notice we topped out right here at 32,470. Your next support is 30,895. This is the published version of this chart. As you can see, I published this on May 28th. If I hit play, see what happened. We pushed up and we topped out right at this line. Again, these charts, I've already mapped out your support and resistance levels so you know where too long and where too short. This here is the M1 chart, guys. So again, I'm going to show you where I'm going to be putting my short. It's coming up very soon. So again, as I've said, every time you hit this white line, this is where I told you to short at 48,000. I told you to short at 43,000. More recently told you to short at 40,000. So I believe if we come up and test it, this is where you're going to be shorting around 35,000. However, I do think it's very possible we could get rejected at this red line. Now, if you look at this chart, if you look right here, you can see wicks. This is on the daily. It looks like price is not respecting this red line at all. If you go to the smaller time frame, let's go to the 3 hour. You will see that price actually is respecting this red line. This red line goes back since the beginning of Bitcoin. You can see all of the wicks are above, but the meat of the candle is below. So how I'm going to play this, if we push up, I'm going in on a heavy short. Down, and again, guys, when I open my short, I'm shorting all the way down to 9K. I'm not closing that short until we hit that target. I might open some scalp longs, but that short will stay open until we hit 9K. I believe that is the absolute bottom. And again, I will create that chart from scratch and show you why that's the case. But this is about where I'm going to short. So if we push up, I will put in a short around 33,178. Probably set my stop maybe a couple hundred above. If I do get stopped out and it pushes above that point, the next point to put in your short, the absolute top will be up here around 34,853. Depends when you make contact. If we push straight up today, 35,000. If it's out here, 34,690. But these are the 2 points I was short. Yes, it's possible I get stopped out. If that happens to continue up, this is a point I short. That's the last short I put in until we hit 9K. Just want to show you that. That is the M1 chart. I will be using BitGet, guys. The reason I use BitGet is because you do not need a VPN to mask your IP address. They're legal to use in the US, Canada, and Australia. I will be using BitGet to short this all the way down to 9K. If you do use my BitGet affiliate link, which is pinned in the first comment description, I will give you access to my Twitter. If you want access to Discord and the charts, you'll have to sign up through the website. I do have a video. This is me learning how to use BitGet. This is simulated trades. It's SUSD is fake money, so you can learn the platform, get comfortable using stop losses, longing, and shorting. When you're comfortable using it, then you can actually go back and trade with real money. I'll put a link up this video now if you want to try some simulated trades. And again, my BitGet affiliate link is pinned in the first comment description. And again, I've already got my target set. The first point I'm going to short. If we push above that, next point I'm going to short. So let's move on. So again, if you get access to Discord, we have a bunch of channels in here. You can see how much people are making playing these charts. I mean, we're making a killing, guys. This guy, 1,157%, 418. Everybody shares their trades. 229, 314, 72, 391, 131. I mean, you have the charts. You have support and resistance. You just play them. So let's get on to this chart, guys. So I'm going to recreate this chart. I'm going to show you all the confluence, why I believe that this is the target, around $9,670. Around mid-August to late August 2022. So we'll come back to this chart, but I want to recreate it for you and show you why I believe this is the case. So these are the support levels. Now again, when I created this chart, I did cover this chart, and I told you it is possible, and I still believe, you know, previous resistance can flip as support. So this can give us points to bottom, to catch temporary bottoms, to bounce. But we need to look at this as a whole structure, as one bear cycle. That is why I recreated this chart, and I think it does nail the bottom price and the date. So I'm going to recreate this. So you can see I already have the support levels, these red support levels here. So I'm going to create a fib channel. I'm going to come from right here to right here and bring it up to the first red support level. And you can see what happens. This gives us this blue line right here. So I'm going to draw another fib channel. I'm going to come from this point right here to this point right here. And I'm going to try, I got to get it right on it, guys. I'm a little OCD with these charts. And bring it up to this point here, and you can see by doing that, that gives us our support level right here. Let me bring this to the front so it stands out. Let's bring this one to the front. And let's bring this one to the front as well. So you can see all of these support levels are parallel. And you can see the support level right here. Well, we need to find a fib channel that matches the previous fib channel. So if we go from this one right here, and this happens to be the 0.618, we go from this point right here to right here and bring it up to this blue line. Look what happens. It gives you that support level right here. That is why I believe that is our support that we are going to bottom on. That's what I'm talking about. It has to be one cycle. Let me bring this in the front. And you can see just by doing this, look at this perfect resistance, resistance, resistance. Again, using this method, you can find your support resistance levels way out before price ever gets there. But the point of this, guys, is for the bottom. So again, I believe since you can see right back here, this was support, 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 we bottomed on that same line. Right here, support, support, we bottomed on that same line. Support, 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 support. We did bottom, we had a wick below and pushed back up as support. So I believe the same thing is going to play out. This is going to be our support right here on this line. So how do we get the timing for that? Well, if you turn on the 200 weekly moving average, you'll notice back here we found support right on this red support, right at the 200 weekly moving average. Well, we broke below the 200 weekly moving average here. Let's turn that on. It became the 300 weekly moving average, right? That's where we bottomed. So I believe that when we bottom, it's going to be way below the 300 weekly moving average. People thought, well, you know, since we bottomed back here on the 200 weekly, we're going to bottom on the 200 weekly. Didn't happen. We came down to the 300 weekly. I believe we're coming way down past that. I think it's the 500 weekly. You're like, the 500 weekly? No one's ever used a 500 weekly. Well, there's a lot of confluence with that target. I'm going to show you why this is the case. So if we do a horizontal line here, so let's do a horizontal line. Let's look for the strongest support and resistance. We can see right here, we've got a lot of support and a lot of resistance right here. So you can see here is, you got support, support, resistance, resistance, support, support, resistance, resistance, support, resistance, all of this resistance. So that is a very strong support and resistance level, and that is right around 9,686. And look what that does. That gives us a point. Since this is a very strong support and resistance level, that gives us a point we intersect this bottom target. That's close to the 500 weekly. You want more confluence? Well, let's go back. How much did we drop? This was 2013 to 2014. Let's do let's measure it. So from here to the very bottom, that was 86.68%. This was 2017 to 2018. How much did we come down? We came down a total of almost 84%. Let me bring this back over here. Okay, in 2019, 2020, how much did we come down? We came down a total of, that was almost 73%. Well, if we drop around 85%, which is about an average how much we dropped previous bear markets, let's measure it. 85% puts us where? Right at that same point. So you have the 500 weekly moving average, you have our strongest support and resistance, an 85% drop puts us right here. And what date is that? Let's see, vertical line. That would be right here around, maybe late August. This right here is the 28th of August. So that's a lot of confluence within itself. We want more confluence. Okay, well this puts us around $9,680. This is my Bitcoin CME futures chart. You'll notice that we have a gap right here at 23,735. We have a gap at 18,145. And look where we have another pretty substantial sized gap below, right here. And that's a pretty big gap, guys. 9,930 to 9,670. It just so happens, late August, that chart is showing that we're going to drop down to around 9,700-ish, and we just happen to have a gap right there. That is a lot of damn confluence, and I show that on this chart, the Bitcoin CME gap. And the Dow Jones, this is further confluence. Not only does Bitcoin show where possibly the Dow is going to bottom, the Dow shows potentially where Bitcoin's going to bottom. If you've been following me, I have some Dow Jones charts. This is a chart I used to predict the COVID crash before it happened. Maybe I got lucky, who knows? But you can clearly see how well price has been respecting this orange Fib circle. And I'm telling you that I believe we're coming down to touch this orange ring. Question is, well, when will we make contact with this ring? Well, if we go to this chart, this is a chart I published on August 22nd, 2021. I call this my Dow Jones crash rings chart. I have this vertical line here. I expected when we hit it, because of how price interacted with these previous rings, like right here, we moved down this green ring. I thought when we hit this green ring, we moved underneath it. What happened is we actually rode down it. So if I hit play, you can see what happened. Ever since we crossed this point, we've been bouncing down this ring. Well, how far do we bounce down this ring? When do we stop? Well, let's go to, again, we have this orange Fib circle. Let's go to the live chart here. So this is this chart where we're moving down this ring. The first thing I want to do is find, just like I did with Bitcoin, I'm going to find our strongest support and resistance level. So I'm going to use a horizontal line here. And let's look for the strongest support and resistance. Well, it's clearly right here. You can see that this was resistance, 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 support, resistance, 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 support. So we know that's our strongest support and resistance level. And that gives us an intersecting point right here at this green ring. So let's go back to this Bitcoin chart. I'm sorry, this Dow Jones chart with this orange Fib circle. And let's copy it and let's paste it into this chart. And what do you know? That gives us an intersecting point. Not only does it give us this white line, support and resistance, right here at this point, this orange ring below happens to be right here. And what date is that? That happens to be right here, this is between the 15th of August and the 22nd of August, 2022. So I have confluence on the Dow Jones chart, showing a potential bottom target and date. We have the Bitcoin CME futures chart, showing a gap that could possibly be filled. And we have this chart showing previous support, right, is going to be our bottom. This was our support, right? Let me get this out of the way. This was our support, right? This is where we bottomed. This is going to be our support, right? We bottom right here. It happened again. Support, right? We bottom right here. We wicked below it. So I don't see why it's not going to be the same. We have about an 85% correction. So previous support, right? Previous support. This is where I think we will bottom, right here at $9,670, and it will be late August when it happens. That's why I believe it's going to play out. You can believe what you want. I showed you all the facts. Guys, if you do want to access these charts, website's opticrypto.com. Link be pinned in the first comment in the description. Remember, guys, $49 a month to get access to Bitcoin charts, altcoin charts, Discord, and Twitter. If you use my big affiliate link pinned in the first comment description, I will give you access to Twitter only. I have tutorials teaching you this method charting I came up with, and I have stocks as well. Guys, that's it. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.